Hey, I don't see me. Hey, welcome to ConCarolinas Television. I am Bronner.
And I'm Ray.
And these are our esteemed guests. I will have them introduce themselves. Starting with the boss man. Talk to us, baby.
Me? I'm the boss?
Yeah, I
mean,
normally,
I don't ever get to be the boss.
We're talking about the
Who's the
Bagusi
boss
up there.
man?
I'm the boss.
You guys realize that?
I
was going to say, Ray's the boss. Introduce yourself. Go.
Yeah, I'm the boss.
She already did.
No,
you're like
actually,
behind.
I think Nev should go first.
No, we've got two wonderful guests here with us tonight. Really happy to have them on this episode. We're going to be talking multiverse, not just Doctor Strange, the movie that's coming up, because we don't do spoilers, but we're going to be talking all things multiverse in general. And this guy with the space background sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Tell us who you are. What do you bring to the table, sir?
I bring nothing to the table.
Oh, cheers to that.
Here.
You're here. You bring yourself to the table. That's all.
That's Nev. He's
all
part
we
of
could
the
ever ask for.
Blue Skirt Boys Network, and the Shenanigans creator Don Darrow is joining us. Everybody, I'm sure, knows.
I don't think he created Shenanigans, but
he's always created.
Yes, I did.
You did?
Well, Mr.
It's
Nev,
another word, and we're not allowed to use it.
Mr. Nev or Mr. Exartner right there has his own Twitch channel. He's actually a pretty fabulous streamer. He does a lot of games, a lot of you do like the spring collection and like sales and whatnot. He has a great community. So I posted his link in the chat, so you should definitely go give him a follow.
Absolutely.
For sure. I need to even do that. I'm so disconnected from the network. And I really got to plug in. I really got to get on there.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
If I feel like if I introduce myself, it's all going to be lies. I'm John. I do a thing. I'm Don Darrow. I do a thing. Oh, new follow. Thank you.
Keep it simple. Stupid.
I like how he kept them separate. John is different from Don Darrow.
Right.
Right. Don Darrow is his secret identity.
He talks about himself in the third person.
He is Don Dorco in the multiverse.
Disconnect from the social network.
Don Darrow is here. Yeah,
of course the elder being is on the milk. Of course.
Yeah, our resident elder being, because we're all convinced no one knows Nev's age. And so at this point in time, we have just decided he is older than time. I have heard rumors, but I don't absolutely believe them. Oh, totally going to ban you. There we go. Thank you.
But I wanted to become famous.
I wonder if you're older than I am. That would be hilarious.
This sounds like a challenge. Like I really want.
No, we can't say it. We cannot say Nev's actual age.
Well, but we could card him.
No, we can't
say it. But like I want to find out for myself.
I don't can't card him. What about at ConCarolinas when he orders alcohol?
That's on them, not us. We cannot. Anybody in the BSBN cannot know Nev's age. In fact, if you know Nev's age, you are no longer in the network.
So if I guessed right, I don't have to do this anymore? That would be fun.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about stuff and stuff.
All right.
So that's a whole different topic than the multiverse.
Right?
Wait a minute. Are we going to Mortal Kombat? Have we finally made it?
Finally.
We bait and switch, you guys.
Wait.
He has a button for that.
We made it!
Get it,
it's not possible to guess right.
No? You tell me yours, I'll tell you mine.
It's not impossible.
What is that noise? All right, so let's talk about the multiverse. Hello. They're coming to take me away. Oh.
So the multiverse. So we're only talking about the comic book / movie multiverse, not as in like the theoretical physics that go into the multiverse as well.
Yeah,
no, we're not talking about physics. Like string theory.
Yeah.
No.
We're talking about
not going 10 dimensions deep or anything. No.
MCU multiverse.
That's a whole different show.
Oh, MCU. Okay.
MCU
multiverse. So not even DC's attempt at one.
Oh yeah, that was horrible. Anyways, let's not go there.
We're just gonna pretend that doesn't exist.
No.
In this universe, that multi-universe doesn't exist.
Now, DC can embrace their fuck ups. I mean, that's my one. Okay, they can embrace them and just continue on with their normal timelines. MCU has to go, oh, that movie sucked, so let's just kick it to the multiverse. Blame it on the multiverse.
But MCU has an excuse for most of the movies that suck. They're made outside the MCU per se because they're made by Sony.
Sony, yeah.
For most. Now, there is the tragedy of Black Widow.
Why is
it? And Eternals.
Hold up.
Why is it a tragedy? Because of how, one, it was treated. It didn't come out in time. It didn't come out in its right timeline.
Yeah,
so
they
it screwed up
shelved it
everything.
too much, yeah.
And then they shelved it too much. And then on top of it, it's not even a single movie. It's like two movies mashed together.
Right. I agree with Nev.
Any movie where I get to look at her butt on the screen is not a tragedy.
Hey, you guys be
we're gonna handle it.
Be right back.
We're gonna handle this.
Oh, and then also the way they treated her and the whole contract thing was just a mess. It was a whole mess. The whole thing was a mess.
There was a lot of.
And how dare you treat Scarlett Johansson that way? I mean, that's my whole ass wife.
How do you treat any actor that way? I mean, if you have a contract,
but especially Scarlett. She's on the pedestal.
She's got like
for
a
me.
real special place in my heart.
Yeah.
Makes it go pitter patter.
Yeah, when she was blonde and voluptuous, I mean, there was nothing better. I mean, except for my wife.
Ooh, Doc has a point. Captain Marvel wasn't made by Sony, and that was not a success.
Right, but they made Eternals.
Eternals was also made by Marvel.
Disney,
yeah, and that didn't do so well.
And that was not good. I mean, in my opinion.
I mean, the believability factor, if you think about the believability factor for most Marvel movies, it's pretty high, right? Like, you're like, hey, that seems like our current world, that could happen type of thing. Eternals is just not there. There's going to be a freaking body bursting out of our freaking planet and nobody's going to know.
Right.
Nobody's going to know that this is just sitting underneath the planet all this time. Nah.
Well, the thing with the more popular, more accepted Marvel movies is they don't just like slam it right in your face. They kind of led into it. So by the end of it, it's really fantastical, but you're already vested. Like, you can believe this has happened after 12 movies. Well, so,
I mean, there's some other tragedy movies like the Thor movies before they found their groove.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. But then there's just a new rasher of crap with, Venoms.
Yeah,
and
that's Sony. And that's Sony as well. And those are all the properties that they had owned. They've owned them for the longest time. They're only cashing in on them now because of the popularity of the MCU.
Yeah.
Right. And then, but then you look at films
just
with Spider-Man.
I just want to say that I completely
that are Sony movies that are amazing.
Agree with the chat.
What did the chat say?
We're talking about the ancestor of all Marvel movies, Howard the
Duck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all praise Howard.
Yes.
I mean, I love it.
They'll bring him back. I mean, they showed him where? They showed him in Guardians.
Infinity. Wasn't it?
Infinity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But honestly,
Infinity War, I think.
Howard the Duck is not polished enough for today's culture. Like, you could not just let him loose.
Well, if you can let Deadpool loose, you can let Howard the Duck loose.
But Howard the Duck existed in a very specific paradigm where it was very, 80s, 90s paradigm.
Yeah.
Where
I think
was
more
just a
80s,
sentimentality that was different.
Totally different.
It wouldn't fit with today's sensibilities. She's right.
Yeah. I would still like to see them try to shoehorn that bitch in.
I mean, I'd be all for it. I think he'd be hilarious.
Great. Yeah.
If they do it as a real, a satire comedy, I think they could get it. But
just a little cameo, like in a bar or something.
Is he the new Stan Lee? Like, he's going to be the cameo in all the movies?
You want a movie completely just Howard running for president?
Yes.
Going up against Trump. All right.
We are not.
That would be fun. But the point is that really there's just been a bunch of crap stacked on a bunch of crap. So going forward, where do we see this crap and how does it affect the MCU?
It doesn't. It doesn't affect it at all. I mean, what they have done now is you just open up the universe that they can franchise out.
Right.
That's really what they've done.
Okay.
So they can write off Sony's movies. If Sony's does well, yay, it reflects well on them. If they don't, they can go away. That's
That's the other universe.
variants. Those are those variants that we don't have any control over right now until we get the rights back, which, and like one of your things was, are we ever going to see one where everyone plays together? Not until the license is all in one hands. It's not going to happen.
Right.
Because someone always wants more money.
Right.
And that may or may not happen. Yeah.
Almighty dollar.
But then there's the whole like weird things that happen, like for instance, with the snap, right? You have Cap, he goes, riding off into the sunset as an old man, right? So we know we're not going to really see him back. But what about like Gamora, who, wasn't affected by the snap, but still came back, right? But she came back.
Well, she didn't come back.
Or she never went away.
It's alternate her. Remember, they pulled her from a different timeline, so it's not even
right. So her and Star-Lord aren't, a thing, and who knows if she's going to be evil or good or what have you. So I guess there is that little bit of light at the end of the tunnel that we can look forward to. Especially because Guardians is scheduled to come out sometime, I think this year or next year. So that's at least a little something to look forward to.
Tiny in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
Just tiny.
And I think they did a lot at the end of Infinity War that would touch on a lot of these little aspects of what we're going to see going forward. But they really didn't talk about, or no one's really ever talked about Ironheart, who's the heir apparent to Iron Man, right?
Oh, no. We only barely brush upon War Machine. He's just like casually mentioned in a couple of things, but never as a real character.
Right. I mean, he got more screen time, of course, in Infinity War because there was nobody else. They all got snapped away. So you got to have somebody like War Machine around, right? But so Ironheart, who I believe is going to become a Disney series like WandaVision or Loki or Falcon and Winter Soldier and that kind of thing.
Yeah, they're totally capitalizing on those.
So, and I'm not a huge fan of any of it so far.
Really? You don't like Loki? You don't like...
I love Loki.
Yeah, she loved Loki. I thought Loki was a little too...
I thought they were all been rather well done.
It was a little campy for
some
me.
complaints.
I mean, you have to accept
so how about,
them for what
so you don't even like the Moon Knight, that one that's going on right now?
The Moon Knight has been the best thus far, in my opinion. It's just... I think it's
still
done
gotta watch
really well.
Moon Knight Dockcaster. Yeah, we're not going to talk about any spoiler stuff for Moon Knight.
Oh yeah, we're not.
And there's a lot of weird stuff in Moon Knight that could be spoilers.
There's
for sure.
So we're not going. But I mean, that's the beautiful thing about the multiverse is they have that ability, and all they need is the longevity. They just need patience. They keep throwing stuff at the wall, and if it sticks with the fans, then they go with it. It's who flung do. We're flinging do at the wall.
Well, that's Disney's way, though. They don't fling it so much at the wall as they fling it at the market and see which ones sell, and whichever ones sell get more, and whichever ones don't disappear.
Yeah.
They just happen to have like these unlimited versions, and if they don't like it, they just be like, you know what? This is a new version from a different universe.
Yeah.
Well, see, like Hawkeye should have never been made, in my opinion. It was a Christmas movie. I mean,
it was like a Christmas movie. It was a,
It's like
7 episode Christmas movie. Yeah,
it's like Lifetime.
But it served its purpose. Its whole purpose was to introduce a new character. Introduce 2 new characters, because for those people who didn't watch Black Widow, you would have no idea who her sister was.
Right.
So they had to bring in her and retell her backstory in a little condensed version for everyone to get. So, I mean, that's what the purpose of Hawkeye was, to introduce 2 new characters and move forward. Because you also have Kingpin in that episode being uncharacteristic Kingpin.
All right, so what...
Before we move on, though, I really have to say I agree with Doc. They need a universe where Bruce Campbell is every hero and villain.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Totally down.
So it'll be Ash versus Autolycus.
Ash versus the world. All right. So
I just root for the Necronomicon. That's all.
Yeah. See, Hawkeye brushes over one big thing, like that. There's a lot of death going on in the MCU.
Yeah.
Hawkeye straightened up murking people.
He was whole bad.
Time.
Like he was a bad boy, and we like bad boys.
Yeah.
Just saying.
He went off the rails. He didn't really. No, I think he didn't care at all.
Yeah. I think after Thor: Blood and Thunder and Multiverse of Madness, those two real movies I think are going to really define the direction of the multiverse going forward.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Well, yeah, we'll definitely see and have some explanation, we hope, with the Multiverse of Madness coming out, like you say. And hopefully, is it Love and Thunder? Is that the Thor movie?
Gods and Thunder?
Or I think it's Love and Thunder.
It was Love and Thunder.
Something about thunder thighs. I don't
Thunder
know.
thighs.
I don't
know.
Thunderous thighs.
But you know, that's going to be a good thing, I think, if they do it right.
Love and Thunder. That's it.
Love and Thunder, because Jane's back for
she's the new.
Well, we're gonna see what that's gonna be, because that's gonna be a whole new thing. Weird. And you saw that she had a reforged hammer in that, which is weird. But
was that the preview?
Yeah, that was in the trailer. It was a reforged hammer she was holding.
So like a Stanley. Like a Craftsman hammer.
Like a Craftsman. Is it hyper tough? Is it a knockoff?
It's a knockoff. Wait, where did everybody go? Okay.
Right here.
So you think, Nev, that the MCU will rebound?
Because it's going to be like any of these type of long-running series. You're going to have highs and lows. And with all the diverse talent and writers, I mean, sometimes you're going to have visions that mesh and you're going to have great movies out of them. And sometimes they're just not. And we'll get more Eternals or Thor, early years.
Early Thor.
They did exactly what they needed to do. They got their
Welcome back, John.
And now everybody is on board. Everybody is waiting for the next movie. They're waiting to see what direction it's going in. They're waiting to see what characters are going to bring in. That's all they needed. They solidified their fan base, and their fan base will continue to watch.
Well, the MCU?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they don't give a crap at this point. Just throw stuff at them, and like now, if we don't like it, multiverse fault.
Yeah, no, I think they still care about it, because I mean it's still a vision of Kevin Feige. I think he's still running it for a bit until he's out. You're going to still see some type of single vision, single thread storyline going through most of the main movies.
Yeah, which you should.
I would hope so, but I don't know that they have anything that really has. I mean, has me excited. Maybe Guardians 3. I'd be a little excited about that. And
Game Worm says, "I wish they addressed Hawkeye be hearing impaired like he was in the comics more. They did in the Hawkeye series.
They did.
That was a big part
talked about him
in the Hawkeye series.
They still didn't give him this purple suit, though.
No, they gave it to her.
Interesting. Yeah, they gave it to her.
Yeah,
it's his suit.
It was a Christmas present.
It's that Christmas Happy New Year. It's a different universe. Okay. As far as I'm concerned, the best thing that has come out of the multiverse has been Mr. Miles Morales.
The
Spider-Verse was so good. And that was Sony, right? But
yeah,
Sony,
ironically, that was Sony.
Sony has done a great job with Spider-Man.
No.
Tom Holland.
No.
Tom Holland.
That's not Sony. That wasn't Sony. That was Marvel pushing it on Sony.
Well,
yeah.
So that was Marvel's. That was all Marvel doing that.
Yeah, that was Marvel saying, "You let us use Spider-Man in our story, or we buy you."
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how the politics went down exactly. All I know is that Spider-Man is a cut above Venom and Morbius and all those. I mean, like,
Yeah, but
wait,
do you remember the
miles
other
above.
Spider-Mans? Do you remember the beginning of Spider-Mans? Tobey
Yeah.
Maguire,
really?
Andrew Garfield.
Which weren't horrible, but comparative to the MCU.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of them started well, and then they just went off the rails.
Right.
Yeah.
They did what Sony does best. They got ruined.
Yes, exactly.
Topher Grace as Venom.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. But everybody loves that show. What show was he on again?
That 70s show.
That 70s show. Everybody loves that show.
Do you know what's sad? Is I was actually really
and don't be dissing my Toby. We're not dissing Toby.
I love Toby.
He wasn't a bad.
I was really excited.
Well, he wasn't bad until Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3 emo, Spider-Man horrible. Sorry.
Absolutely.
No. Just no. And then the train wreck of villains in that movie, no.
Yeah, like I was excited when they said they cast him as Brock. I was like, yes, I could get behind that. I could see him doing a really good job. And then the plot of that movie is just, it was like Schumacher's Batman when there's bat nipples.
Yes.
They bat nippled it.
Spider-Man 3 was bad more because of forcing Venom. Spider-Man 3 was bad for a lot of reasons, mostly because it had too many villains. They needed to stick with the storyline.
Right.
You either tell the Venom storyline as a thing on its own without any of the other bullshit, or you tell one of the other ones, because Sandman deserves his own.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't deserve to be grouped in, and Green Goblin 2 didn't also deserve to be booked. I mean, that's a whole journey that he goes through. It's not just one little thing.
But I love the way
2 movies and it's 3 scenes.
Yeah. The beautiful thing is that it did give us the villains to come forth in the latest Spider-Man movie, which was great, I thought.
Yeah, only one of them made it from Spider-Man 3. Just
how
saying.
you do a multi-villain movie. That right there is how you do it.
That was really beautifully done, I thought. So,
and it was Electro.
Yeah, but it still had, I don't know, a sense of nostalgia to it, and it also.
I'm glad they gave him an update. He didn't look so horrible.
Yeah, it was bad. Sorry, Jamie. They did you wrong, bro.
They did.
They did him dirty.
Yeah,
I don't think he's recovered yet.
That's what
electricity.
Most superhero worlds.
I didn't know that.
Don't need superheroes. They need OSHA and good mental health facilities.
They do.
That's most worlds, yeah.
OSHA's important.
If you had OSHA, none of these Spider-Man villains would exist. Oh, there's some strange readings in the particle accelerator.
Right.
It's probably just some birds. No, how about you go check it?
Right.
Go check it. There would be no Sandman if somebody was just like, no. Weird readings, go check it.
Yeah, we have to stop and go check. Yeah. Because if this goes wrong, that's your paycheck, not mine.
Yeah. It's a multi-million-dollar experiment.
Yeah.
Someone go check that.
There's absolutely no quarantine protocols. It's like Oprah's giving out superpowers. You get a superpower. You get a superpower. Everybody gets
What's that department watchdog that supposedly cleans up after superhero messes? They should be the MCU OSHA.
Well, see, MCU was like that was Tony Stark's thing. Tony Stark actually did.
Yeah, he did.
That's why I liked Tony, like the way they did Iron Man, and like this is my big problem with Batman is Batman will drive a tank through a building, and then it's just like, well, the city has to deal with that. Iron Man's like, well, we'll come rebuild it. That's what made the first Spider-Man villain in the MCU was Tony Hawk's.
Tony Hawk's, his skateboard challenge.
Sorry, I'm thinking of the Vulture. Tony Stark.
And kickflip, a 360.
Tony Hawk.
Tony Hawk. Do you know why I was thinking Tony Hawk? Because the reason I had to dip up is my son just had his first major skateboard accident. Yeah. He face planted and he's like skint down here, all his knee. And I was like, okay, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Tony Hawk is Iron Man.
But Oprah gives the superpower where that one expired coupon you find is always accepted. Like a really bad superpower.
Oh God.
That's Bed Bath & Beyond superpower. They'll take expired coupons.
Yeah.
Wow, we just went off the rails a little bit.
In some universe out there, Tony Hawk is Iron Man. That's right? The multiverse.
Right? This is the fingers that grow hands, that grow more hands.
That'd be cool because then he'd probably be making like jet-powered skateboards or something.
Okay. I'm
down have y'all talked about What If yet?
We could all be like Silver Surfer.
No, we haven't talked about What If.
Good.
We don't play the What If game.
Would What If be the first time they mention the multiverse?
No, they mentioned it in the very first Doctor Strange.
Yes.
Are you talking in comics or are you talking in the...
No, I'm talking the MCU. In the MCU mentions of the multiverse. When the first time they mentioned it, was it Doctor Strange?
Doctor Strange
was the first time, is what Doc Castor is saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that would make sense
because
to
the ancient one says that's where we devise our power from.
Yeah.
Right.
The shadow dimension.
That was introduced the mirror dimension.
Woo, we getting spammed today.
Oh man, you always get them before I can go buy some followers.
So, yeah, listen, Seth, slow down a little bit. Some of us need to be famous here.
Because in this universe, I'm not wildly famous. So I'm gonna have to buy some.
I think they're going to play heavy on the What If.
For Multiverse of Madness? Right. Yes. Well, you've already seen hints of it with Multiverse or What If Doc Strange appearances.
Yeah.
In the trailers.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, he's really the only one that can travel through the multiverse, right?
No,
well, apparently Loki
no, he's not the only one. Kang can.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was Kang's whole thing in Loki. If you had watched that.
Yeah.
Like Loki was the first series that was legitly about the multiverse.
Multiverse, yes.
They talked about it in Spider-Man: Homecoming, but it was all like they hinted at it, but then it turned out it was just like Mysterio. And I thought they did a really good job with that. Like just
the Mysterio storyline,
yeah.
It's like they've been dropping little nuggets here and there, and then they're just gonna blow it.
I mean, golden nuggets. A lot of the times they've been great.
Well, I mean, if you really want to have your mind blown, okay. So in Doctor Strange, the first one, they first mention it. It's near the end of the ancient being's life cycle. If you watch Endgame, when the Hulk goes back in time and talks to the ancient one before their magic stems from something else. There is no mention of the multiverse. Loki happens right after that. So by the time Doctor Strange officially happens, the multiverse is in fact a thing.
Right.
Because of Loki.
Like if you bounce back and forth through the timeline. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we know it's a thing, legit, because he actually goes to Dormammu and negotiates that deal.
Yeah, and that was using the time amulet to do that.
Yeah,
but he still went to the Shadow Realm or wherever.
That was
I thought they fought in the mirror dimension, didn't they?
No.
He
didn't trap him in the. They released the Shadow Realm.
That was it.
What's his name? Casselius or whatever.
Basically, it was Dormammu, I've come to bore you into submission. Yeah, we can keep doing this forever.
Right.
Or you can leave Earth alone.
That was a real
like, I can find easier meals. That's basically what that was. I can find easier meals. Let's go somewhere else.
Yeah. I'm sorry, when I was watching that, if anybody's a fan of Rick and Morty, that was like the most Rickest solution to a Marvel thing. It's like, dude, I can do this all night long. I don't give a shit. Multiverse.
Are you allowed to flip people off on PG-13?
I mean, given the fact that all of the universes stem off of time travel, so what they did in Avengers, all of that time travel.
Right, but see, and that's the weird thing. That thing spawns extra universes.
It's approved time travel.
Yeah, approved by what? Because the Kang Authority, is that what we're saying? Because
it
fits into the Kang timeline. So
Because no matter how small, whatever impact that you have changes things. So you've now split. If you go back and, I don't know, step on a butterfly effect, you've now created.
Yeah, but this whole thing was, I thought in this one they had to replace everything they took.
So
they put it back.
Right.
But did
so
they
like it was never
what they did?
Well, in some cases you couldn't, because like there's that whole Tony meeting his dad,
right?
His adult Tony thing.
Yeah, but the point being that they were using the quantum realm to make sure that a serious amount of time didn't elapse during this whole shuffle.
And that's a whole other thing, the quantum realm that we haven't talked about.
The quantum realm is...
Go ahead. Oh, sorry.
Like,
go ahead, John.
Go.
All right. Do you think, because I don't see it as time travel in Endgame, I think it was still all forward progression in time. You were just rearranging situational stuff, like, because they try to explain it. It's like, well, no, it's your future. We're not time traveling. We're just rearranging the quantum realm around us to have this happen again.
Yeah, they're just
they were traveling through time, basically.
They were going back into the quantum realm before the incident happened so that they could address the incident without it taking too much time and making everything
Well, I think it's
funky.
even apart from that. I think they're saying the quantum realm exists outside of time and technically dimensions. Because remember, the time variants, they go to different multiverses. They prune from whatever multiverses are coming off of that main universe.
Which is why they got Gamora from a different universe entirely.
No, that was because of Thanos during the Endgame. He brings Gamora with him. That's the Gamora we have, is the Gamora Thanos brings in Endgame.
She should be pruned. That's the only one that should be pruned because everyone else got pruned by Stark.
Right, but she's approved.
But
yeah.
Oh, you mean because of the snap of the army?
So yeah, the Thanos that shows up. I mean, Thanos was killed. So the Thanos that shows up is from another universe where it was affected. He comes to this universe and fucks some shit up. I mean, ooh.
Oh yeah.
I didn't say that.
But does he come through the different universe, or is it just a different time in the same universe? I thought it was a different time in the same universe.
The time prior to anything happening.
Yeah. It's when he's still trying to gather all the stones,
right?
But he hasn't gotten them yet.
I mean, even
that's the time from he comes.
Gamora and what's her face were still in his good graces
Nebula.
At that point.
Yeah,
Nebula. Yeah.
Right. So here to blow your mind, if he came out of this timeline prior to gathering all the stones and skips 10 years and dies, then does it not actually happen? Because he wasn't there to do it.
He ultimately did do it, though.
Yeah. because there's no paradox. There's no paradox in the Marvel universe, apparently. Right. Because otherwise, the universe would have been already torn apart the first time they did time travel in Doc Strange. So...
No cold water.
Okay.
Oh, you should put ice in it.
Hair.
Do you want some cold water?
I've got some Monster.
Hi, Oshi Raisin.
All right.
I hope I said that right.
Oshi Raisin.
I'm going to say Oshi.
How you doing?
I know, right?
Just so I don't mess nothing up.
Doctor Doom. Oh man, Doctor Doom's another Fantastic Four still with Sony. Well, no, they weren't with Sony. They got begotten by Marvel.
They're Fox.
They? Yeah, they were Fox. That's right. Yeah, so now we might get an actual Fantastic Four.
A real Fantastic Four. Oh my god!
I hope they don't do an origin. I hope they just appear, kind of like some other hero, like Black Panther. You know, he just appeared on the scene.
Yeah.
Well, they did that well with Spider-Man too. We all know who Spider-Man is.
Yeah. They didn't do another origin story. Yeah, I like that.
We don't. Yeah, we don't need a new one. But it's coming.
Nobody's parents need to die in an alley.
Right.
Again.
We all know.
And again. And again.
We all know the line.
And again.
Great responsibilities. Boom.
We were just talking about how many Batmans are we on? What was it? What iteration of Batman is this that's out right now? Are we on like 6?
You can't have too many iterations of Batman.
Yes, you can.
You can't keep showing those two people. If you keep showing their parents getting shot in an alley, we're like, Yeah, we know.
Yeah, we don't need that.
know.
This is not a surprise.
We don't need that. But that's my point with the Fan 4 is that if they introduce Galactus, which is kind of what the scuttlebutt is at this point, then they're certainly not doing an origin story unless it's like Silver Surfers.
Well, we already saw Silver Surfer and Galactus in Fantastic Four.
Yeah, but that Galactus was horrible.
So that was
I'm not disagreeing. But
different universe.
I want the real
Jared
Galactus
Leto Batman
to step forward.
Jared Leto.
They can't because didn't he do Joker?
He did Joker.
And he's Morbius. Yeah. So
have
now he's Morbius.
About,
yeah, he's spoken.
Only Ryan Reynolds can play like 6 characters.
Chris Evans can too.
Yeah. Can have they talked about the end of Eternals yet in any Marvel thing?
No, it hasn't come up.
Not yet.
I thought it was going to come up in Hawkeye, but it hasn't come up. And of course, Moon Knight. I don't think we'd even make a reference to it.
Are you talking about the Eros thing?
No, about the fact that there's a friggin' half a head and a hand sitting in the friggin' middle of the ocean.
Of the universe.
Is that Galactus?
And at the end of the movie, a giant being appears. And it's like, "What's up, bitches?"
And nobody knows.
Yeah.
Doesn't phase
but
anybody.
Eros also appears.
String theory, Calvino. String theory.
Isn't Eros the brother of what's his face?
Thanos, yes. He's brother of Thanos. The Mad Titan, because there's a whole family. They haven't mentioned any of the other Titans.
No.
I mean, there's a ton of them. Puck would be great to have in this universe, but that would probably go straight into like Deadpool's realm because he's raunchy.
Because and how could you have someone like Sam fight Puck? I mean, it just can't happen. I mean, it makes no sense thematically at all. You're right. He probably only fits in Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
So,
do you guys think Deadpool?
Star Fox is the brother of Thanos. Yeah. Deadpool will.
If what?
Yes and no.
Deadpool will be in Multiverse of Madness.
I don't think so.
You don't. Maybe a cameo.
I don't think so. I think they're having too
He's
much
everywhere.
fun letting him just poke fun and parody this shit.
I think I saw him on a Buick commercial. So there's a chance.
I don't know if they're owned by Marvel, but I'm dying for some non-Wolverine X-Men content. Those are my well, now that they were owned also by Fox, right? X-Men.
Yeah, but now they've come over.
Those fold back in. Yeah, those come back into. So you get some new mutant content coming soon, probably.
Because
it'll probably hit Disney Plus first. That's
if
what
I
I'd
don't
look
get
for first.
a Gambit movie, there will be rioting in the streets. And if they make Channing Tatum Gambit,
I will
fire somebody. I will fire somebody.
They shelved
not have the right build. Like him in X3? Wasn't he in X3 or was he in X2?
He's not
Channing Tatum. He was not in any of the X-Men.
No. Gambit. Wasn't Gambit in one of those?
Yeah, Gambit was in 3.
3 minutes.
He was in the
3-minute scene, and that was Taylor Kidd.
He was also in the Wolverine movie too.
Yeah.
You know, the Hugh Jackman Scream at the Sky movie.
Yeah.
Yes, I want a Gambit and a Rogue movie. I just need this. And do not cast Channing Tatum as Gambit. He can play a stripper. He can't play Gambit. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, he could play a Gambit as a stripper.
No.
Can't be variant Gambit.
Do not have Channing Tatum show up to a bachelor party.
I think he's done. I think he's
bring back Iron Fist. No, unless they redo the whole Iron Fist story. That was a tragedy. Yeah. That was a tragedy of the show.
From what I understand,
they're gonna pretend it didn't happen.
I couldn't get through the first season. Period.
Gambit's his stage name.
But
I watched both of the seasons.
Yeah, but I heard season 2 was really good.
It was so upsetting, Doc Caster. Season 2 was not good. The best thing about season 2 is it's ending.
It's gone?
It ended.
Yeah, it ended.
What about
the ending kind of thing. But
I didn't watch any of the Netflix Marvel stuff.
Oh, you
I
missed
know
out.
really? I know it became canon. And
Daredevil was great.
Because it was like the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was technically canon, but I'm just like, I don't want to watch it.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I don't think that it's canon anymore. It was canon up till like season 3, and then it went way, way off the rails. So I think they're writing that one off to Multiverse.
But the one thing I do love about like having the multiverse is, yeah, you can have all these shows and you can be like, no, this show is still technically canon in the multiverse.
See, I want a multiverse for my life. Like, I screwed up at work. That's just the multiverse.
You want to transport to a different multiverse?
It's just the multiverse.
You're like, do. All right, I'm going to go to the universe where I didn't screw up. There we go.
All right, so we haven't talked about a lot about Black Panther. How are they going to fix that?
I'm wondering if they'll just drop it.
I don't think they're going to drop it.
No, it's set to release.
So? I mean, they've dropped things that more complete than that.
Right.
And Disney doesn't like scandal. So anything, if it's going to draw any type of scandal because of how whoever is in it was treated or whatever.
Wait, what happened?
They'll just drop it.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm talking about Boseman.
Yeah,
I know, but the whole movie thing with the sister, what's her name?
Shuri.
The woman, Shuri. Yeah.
But she's
remember there was that whole thing with her and COVID, and they didn't like what she was saying, and there was a whole where she got hurt, and there was a whole thing of whether or not she was going to be dropped from the movie, and there was a whole mess of things that went around that movie, and it's not even released.
From what I understand, she's getting a show on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Everybody gets listen. Oprah's passing out shows on Disney Plus.
You think they should recast?
Yeah, because Boseman was amazing. I'm not going to deny that. I love Boseman as Black Panther, but I don't want that character to die. I would rather it recast and you continue that story, because I think that what Boseman would have wanted.
I think if they bring it back, they'll bring back an alternate Black Panther from a different universe. That way they can put whoever they want into the role and not be like, he's supposed to be, a prince of Wakanda, but we've never heard of him.
He's from Brooklyn.
He's from Brooklyn.
They absolutely could, because I want them to recast it, just because I don't want that storyline. I don't want that story to end, because it was really good.
Right. It was just starting to open up.
Yeah. And it was tragic what happened, but I could bet you anything. Yeah, Boseman.
I mean, there's a whole story to be told about like the role of Wakanda during the snap.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I don't know that I'd be interested in that, though. I mean, I don't care what happened during the snap because it was temporary.
It wasn't temporary, though.
Just because
it was not. Remember, they brought the people back. They did not reverse the time. So everything that happened in the snap still happened.
That was the plot.
Those people still lived those whole 5 years. So all the stuff that happened in that 5 years still happened. And people who died during those 5 years are still dead, even though the snap people came back.
That could get really complicated.
Yeah, they did that in the Winter Soldier. Falcon and the Winter Soldier was all about people who were like, after the snap was done, like, no, you don't get to go back.
Right.
Not getting back to normal.
Well, they did that in Spider-Man
for
too.
5 years.
I lost. I had already taken my finals. I had already done my SATs, and I got to do them all over again, kind of thing. Because it happened during the snap.
Duh.
Yeah. So.
I'm just gonna chalk that up to another universe.
I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to see if they'll do the whole replacement of T'Challa, and just get another actor. I think it's doable, and I think with CGI and he's in costume all the time anyway. They can just do a Black Panther in costume the whole time. They don't have to show him without, his mask on.
If Paul Walker could do 7 movies post-mortem, we could do anything.
Yeah.
It's true.
Game Worm. Y'all ever think about how many people must have died when they got unsnapped? Also, how do they do age laws with those people? It's briefly mentioned in Spider-Man Far From Home when MJ tells the stewardess Flash isn't actually 21 because of the snap. Yes. But they did explain, I think everyone who got unsnapped wasn't like back in the original positions. They were on the ground or somewhere safe. Because yes, there would have been a lot of people who just got unsnapped and be like, "Oh, now I'm drowning."
Right.
I'm
falling out of an airplane.
I was on an airplane.
Right.
Right.
Oh, yeah, you'd just be street pizza or something by then.
Free falling.
You get unsnapped right to get
but-
hit by a bus.
The one thing.
Yeah, there'd probably be a snap designation on the license. Could you imagine that? Having a snap designation on your license, be like, I was snapped, so take 5 years off of this.
Right. It's like when California had to do the provisional licenses.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Are we caught up to the snap?
What do you mean?
Like,
No.
Okay, so in Endgame, snaps, and then it jumps 5 years into the future, and it's presumed the snap happened present day. What point? Like, what is the date that we catch up to the snap?
I think we're already caught up because all the series have been post-snap.
Yes.
No, I meant like in our time, so we're not technically telling a story that takes place in the future.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I don't see what you mean. Is that a multiverse question?
No, that would be more of a time issue. Because everything, and it's really hard to say because if you look at any of the movies, they all say present day. So you just have to judge it would be in the MCU's timeline of things. In which case, we're in the current.
You would have to look at the contextual clues of the movie and what's going on within the movie and how it relates to the other movies in the timeline.
Yeah.
That way you could piece together the chronological order of everything.
But no matter what, I think we're going to be living in the future. Yes.
Well, because when in Endgame, they go back to 2012. That's when Avengers happened. That's when
but that's because that's the movie date. They're using the movie dates as those, right?
Thank you, Doc Cash.
2023 was when the snap was undone. Okay. So next year.
Okay.
So we have to deal with this for a whole nother year.
Not much has happened in 5 years.
Nothing. I mean, you can't count Eternals. You can't count. I didn't even know what the number or the name of the 10 Rings movie was.
What?
What was that called?
Shang-Chi.
Legend of the Ten Rings. Yeah, Shang-Chi. Legend of the Ten Rings.
Yeah,
that wasn't a bad movie.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
He didn't like it.
But I don't know. Too corny for me. But I love Chinese cinema. I mean, I'm not a person that doesn't love it, but
it was very pulled out.
You still got to watch Shang-Chi. It was its own thing. I think it was a better tribute than Iron Fist ever could have been.
I like it.
And it makes reference to some of the stuff from Iron Fist because, that's totally where
yeah. Right.
Yeah. They're related to the whole Iron Fist and legacy and everything.
That whole hidden city, what is it called? Kung Lao,
yeah. That's where he's supposed to be guarding.
Exactly.
That's where he left his post to come into play in Manhattan for.
Yeah.
So.
It's funny if they kept Thanos or original reason for killing so many people to get Death's attention. Yeah. Originally, Thanos was not a what was it?
An eco-terrorist? No.
Yeah.
He did it all because he was just in love with Death. He was like, hey, I want to impress Death. She won't give me the time of day. She likes Deadpool, so I'm going to do this.
All right.
Thanos
take away half the universe.
Whiny bitch in the whiny character in the comics. Like he did not have the.
Well, he was the Mad Titan. I mean, he was totally batshit sometimes.
Yeah.
When it suited.
The senpai death noticed me. I committed genocide. Ooh, 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 ooh. He was so ooh, ooh in the comics. That's who
he was.
He was a simp. He was Thanos, the great simp.
I don't know. I think they brought him into the MCU so that they could kill all these people off and save a ton of, money. I mean, how much was Robert Downey Jr. getting to play Iron Man? I mean, it's time. They had to pass the torch. They can't afford that.
I mean, there's other people
they can afford
kill.
it. They just don't want to pay it.
Yeah.
There
are other people to.
I mean, Tony was doing pretty good at killing himself. So.
Yeah.
That's true. But I mean, I think they originally decided to go with that story arc because they did want to kill off a lot of people because they didn't want to pay these people anymore.
I mean, think about it. These people.
I don't think it was about paying anymore. I think
or
it's
they're getting old. One of the two.
Hello?
I think it's more to go through the roster. Because if you got to think about who they brought in, Captain America. Captain America's not a big comic seller. He hasn't been for quite some time. Iron Man didn't sell a lot of comics as far as numbers go, as what was people were reading at the time that the movies were made. They
did make a ton of money after that, though.
Yeah, after they became popular, they started making more money again. But before then, they weren't the big names.
Iron Man, like I said, he was a big Avenger, and like if you have the Avengers, yeah, cool, Iron Man is there.
But that was his whole, he was the money. Yeah. You see more of him in West Coast Avengers in the comics. Mm-hmm. And then they get more into his alcoholism and everything there too. I mean,
that's always fun.
Yeah, that doesn't.
Scarlet Witch was also in the West Coast Avengers. She wasn't a main Avenger.
They definitely took some liberties.
Yeah.
They can.
But I like that.
Multiverse to choose from.
Well,
exactly.
Not just that. It's like people. I've talked about this long about like the MCU, and like, well, it's not just like the comic books. I don't like this. Not like the comic books. It's like which comic book?
Right.
How many different comic book versions,
storylines there are there?
Or depending which writer's doing it this time, sets the tone, the tempo of that.
I mean, you can just look at
totally change a character.
At Batman. Every time I go to get my subscription box every week, there's like 10 different titles,
50 different books.
I mean, and they're all different storylines, and they're all different Batmans. So how do you bring the right one to the surface? It's a crapshoot, really, because
canon.
If it's got Batman in it, it's gonna sell. If it's got Thor in it, it's gonna sell, kind of thing. So they kind of try to go with what's hot, but for some reason,
how do you do canon with comic books when you have that? You can't. So many
when
things.
You have the multiverse in the comic book as well, and therefore anything that can exist does exist, and probably in multiple forms.
No, that's all I'm saying is they're just able to do that.
Bat film content. Well, they navigate well, and opinions run hot. Yeah. I like to shift over Frog Thor, aka Throg, just to do Jane Thor.
I would have been here for Frog Thor and Croc Loki.
I need a Frog Thor and a Howard the Duck movie. Like they need a co-star.
I'd watch that movie.
I would absolutely watch. And they've teased Howard the Duck so much.
Mm-hmm. He's made how many appearances now?
Yeah.
But is that just for fun?
Yes.
I think it's fun because
it's Howard the Duck. It's fun.
Well, they own it now again.
Yeah.
Now again.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're a studio, are you sinking any money into Howard? Yeah, I mean,
Rocket Raccoon is literally your argument. It's like we can't have a Justice League movie because no one's taking it serious. Marvel, here, have a talking raccoon. We're going to make 3 movies in an Endgame, and you're going to cry about this character. This character is going to bring tears to your eyes. It's a talking raccoon.
Let's talk about Groot.
Yeah.
The guy's got 3 words.
Teen Groot.
I love
Teen Groot was the best.
Teen Groot is like mood. Not gonna lie. The attitude. Yes.
Whoa.
But yeah, you can create these characters. I absolutely think a Howard the Duck movie would fly.
I want a Spider Pig.
Live action Spider Noir. When?
I would love
Spider
that.
Noir is going to be live action.
Okay.
Not unless you get a visionary director who gets an itch.
Yeah.
And Sony likes it.
With the Spider-Verse.
Like Morbius.
They're doing the same Spider-Verse. Do you think they will reference Homecoming at all? I mean, No Way Home.
For which one? For Multiverse of Madness?
No, Spider-Verse.
Oh, will the new one into the Spider-Verse mention it? That is a good question. I don't know. I don't know where they're going with that because that was its own thing. Because even in the the first one, it was all its original stuff. They didn't even cross over it when they did the Spider-Man multiverse stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's not anything from that. Not even a reference. So
it never happened.
All right. So we probably got to start wrapping up, but
we talked too much.
We did, but that was a good episode.
But we didn't even talk about She-Hulk or
coming up on Disney Plus.
Yeah, man, I can't wait for She-Hulk. That gets my juices flowing. I had the original first 12 episodes of She-Hulk in the 80s.
A raffle?
Oh yeah, we do.
Oh yeah, you guys have to do a raffle.
Oh, yeah, we are such bad hosts.
Bad.
Listen, no, we're not bad
Thank
hosts.
you,
We
Seth.
got lost. We absolutely got lost in good content.
You guys were fantastic. Like the info popping up.
So what do they have to do with the raffle? They have to put what
Hold on.
chat?
Hold up. Oh, sorry guys.
Oh, they're coming to take me away.
That was the bad girl.
We're giving it a 5 minute.
We're doing it in 5
Everybody's
minutes.
watching this boom. Yep.
Okay.
It's
Well, while we get that set up, let me let you guys know about this raffle. So this raffle is a free weekend pass to ConCarolinas, which is going to be the 3rd, 4th,
and 5th
of June.
Yes.
Swear I can speak. And all of us are going to be there. It'd be Bronner, myself, Don Darrow's going to be there. Nev's going to grace us with his presence. So we're going to try to guess his age. The whole Blue Skirt Boys network, and there's going to be lots going on there. There's parties. Yes,
the whole BSPN network will be there.
Everybody who's anybody's going to be there. So you have a chance to win a weekend pass. Just put the ! raffle, and you get that free weekend pass if you win. But if you don't, you can still go to ConCarolinas.org and use the coupon code CCtv 22.
I did post it in the chat. The link is there and the promo. If you guys want to enter the raffle, type !raffle to enter to win a pass.
Yes.
And let's just do this. Win the raffle and then head on over to ConCarolinas.org and buy your significant other their weekend pass.
Or your bestie.
Or whoever.
Yeah. Just
or a stranger.
Raffle.
There's nothing funnier than going up to somebody with a raffle. And I will say, if you are a subscriber to the Don Darrow streams, you get 2 tickets instead of 1. So totally hit that like and subscribe.
Totally pay to win.
Totally.
She-Hulk should be a legal drama. Well, She-Hulk, yes. She is a lawyer, isn't she? Maybe they might have like a tie-in with Daredevil and
Multiverse.
What was the other one? The lawyer that Jessica Jones works for.
Oh.
Her.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
But
yeah, because they show her as well
what movie?
Involved. He's in the Spider-Man.
Cameo. Yeah,
he was in Spider-Man.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun.
And since now they own the rights to all that stuff, right? Punisher and
yes.
From what I understand,
and that's a good thing. That's another good question. Are they going to bring back Punisher? I mean, the Punisher series on Netflix was A+.
Yes.
As far as Punisher series have gone, or movies, or any of the franchises things have gone, that was the best Punisher so far.
Right?
Yeah.
It was amazing.
John Bernthal did a great job with that role.
From what I hear, that Daredevil and Punisher are both going to get some action on Disney.
But I don't know if they're going to do it. Punisher's a bit more bloody than Disney normally likes. So I don't know what they're going to do there.
Listen, I tried to log into my daughter's Disney Plus, and it said, hey, guess what? We have mature content now, so keep your ratings here or move up the tier. You know, so they know that there's stuff that, because they already have Punisher on there. so
it's
they know.
coming.
No, it's on there already.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying like no, but they're preparing. They're preparing for it because they know they said they're gonna.
Yeah.
Right. The Netflix show is currently on there, but they plan on doing more.
Deadpool's also a lot edgier than Disney likes. Yes, it is. But they've distanced themselves from Deadpool. Like it's kind of like, hey, we're going to treat it like a licensing deal, even though it isn't. Because if you notice, most of the stuff is a different production company. It's not Disney.
Yeah.
This is true.
Like I said, but they also own Hulu for this exact reason.
This is true.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Fox
all that stuff gets diverted to
Hulu. To Hulu. Which
that
makes
would make
sense.
sense.
Split your, you're now have people buying the bundles because I just have the bundle. I do Hulu and that. But yeah, make sure you enter.
You mean Trinity the lawyer? Yeah,
Podcast.
I meant Trinity the lawyer.
Hey, so what about seeing a Black Knight movie?
It might come now that Moon Knight. I mean, because that would be a thing.
There's only one Black Knight, and that's Martin Lawrence.
That was a horrible movie.
That was bad.
It was so bad. Sorry. I don't know why that popped in my head, but anytime someone says Black Knight, I just think Martin Lawrence is the Black Knight.
All right. And there's also a new Blade movie coming out, right?
Yes.
I wonder what they're going to do with that property, especially now that Mobius is out.
I hope it ties in.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I haven't heard good things about Morbius. I haven't seen it yet, but
we saw Morbius and we didn't hate it. I mean, I hated Venom. Hated, hands down.
But I have not heard good things about Morbius. I heard Jared Leto. I heard Jared Leto got his second strike as far as playing any superhero character.
I don't agree with that. I mean,
so it's not exactly that it's bad. It's just after watching Jared Leto as Joker, you're like expecting him to be much better, and he didn't really deliver much better. So had he never been Joker, I think a lot of people would have had a lot better opinion of the Morbius. But he's already got that bad taste in your mouth, so they're hypercritical of it.
Perhaps.
Yeah, I enjoyed Morbius, so.
Black Knight.
Well, you heard it first. The people who like literally surrounded themselves with Batman merchandise, popular DC fans, loved Morbius. So
I didn't hate it. I didn't say I loved it. Yeah. I just said I was entertained.
I had to watch Morbius. Haven't seen it though. I haven't seen that yet. I just saw the new Fantastic Beasts, and we also saw the unbearable weight of massive talent. Which
I want to see that one.
Yes, of the two movies, I felt better seeing the unbearable weight of massive talent over the Harry Potter movie.
That's the Nick Cage movie, right?
Yeah, that is the Nick Cage movie. Where Nick Cage as Nick Cage. That's the movie where
Nick Cage does Nick Cage. I want to see that so bad. The trailer is cracking me up.
It is as ridiculous as I thought it would be.
It's a multiverse.
Yeah, it's in the MCU multiverse. We can say that now about anything.
Anything.
Right.
Multiverse, yeah.
The movie I'd like to put in there is The Northman. We went and saw that. And it should be in the multiverse. IMDb gave it like a 7.8. I give it like a 6.5.
Yeah.
We kind of bled through at some scenes in Fantastic Beasts. And at points during the movie in Fantastic Beasts, you're like, are they torturing people in the background? What is that noise?
Yeah. I mean, it was good. It was a little artsy for me, but
the previews portray it as it's going to be
the Vikings, way, like,
and it was definitely more of like an art film type.
I mean, that has a definite tie to MCU because it has Ethan Hawke in it, and he's also Dr. Harrow, so
He is.
So that's part of the multiverse.
That's the first thing I said when we watched the first episode of Moon Knight. Was I'm like, oh, that dude looked a lot different
as a Viking.
As a Viking, he looked like he was 7 feet tall. He's like 4'11".
I haven't watched Moon Knight yet. I plan on binging it.
Yeah, it's easy to binge. Yeah. It's only 6 episodes.
It is going to be 6, and yes, it would be a good binge one because some of those. Right. I think it'd be better to watch back to back than cut that from week to week.
Yeah, I hate doing that anyway, is waiting for shows. So
some shows the format works though. Moon Knight, I think you lose a little bit of something.
Because like I think with the other Marvel shows, that week to week was good. It was like, oh yeah, I'm excited. Like I'm really pumped.
The only movie or the only show that we'll watch week to week is Yellowstone. Brilliant show, and it's
not my favorite MCU movie.
I can't wait for it.
It's good. It should be.
It's not a flop.
It's better than Venom.
It's not part of the multiverse.
Oh.
Multiverse is only the excuse for the flops.
Instead of let there be carnage, there's let there be Costner.
Well, I mean, it can still be it can still be MCU. It could just be the pop culture that exists within the MCU as well, because they do make pop culture references all the time in every MCU.
All right, the raffle is done.
The raffle is done.
All right.
All right, are you ready to see who won?
Yeah, let's do it.
I won. I did it. I didn't even enter, and I won.
Great Big Bear! One of the guests of ConCarolinas. Cool. I'm sure that man will absolutely
bring a friend.
Pass that. You know what? He could probably give that pass away along on one of his streams because he's coming out.
Right.
This is true.
You're coming out on stream, Big Bear? I didn't know that.
Big Bear's
coming out. The Doccaster, Great Big Bear donated his pass to Doc.
All right.
Sounds good.
Bronner, how does he redeem that?
He just emails ConCarolinas.org and let us know that he won the raffle, and we'll get him the ticket. We'll get him the badge. The badges haven't gone to print yet, so... But even if they do go to print, because we plan on giving a badge every Saturday until the con. But even if they go to print, we'll Sharpie that bitch,
Okay, who do they email at ConCarolinas.org? Is it just anyone at ConCarolinas.org? Or do they email a specific
I think
person?
It's...
I don't know it.
I don't know. Just go ahead and do C. Bronner at ConCarolinas.org. That's my C in front of my name.
Type that.
I don't have. Yeah, I don't have that ability.
I'm doing it.
I don't have the technology. Anyway, while they're doing that, next week is going to be the 7th, which we are going to bring you on CCtv books that have become movies. In fact, I think our very own John Hartness, who is our program director and who is the Falstaff publisher, he will be on set for a movie that is from one of the books that was published out of his many books that he has.
He wrote Bubba the Monster Hunter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
really good series.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's a good series.
I will definitely be tuning in.
So that's going to be a fun show. He's going to have I don't know what the setup's going to be like, John, but he's going to have like different people like pop in as guests that are on set, whether it's, a makeup person or whatever, or what have you.
So what you're saying is we're going to be interviewing him, interviewing other people. That's going to be part of the multiverse.
That is the multiverse in a nutshell.
Or the metaverse. Is it the metaverse?
Is it the metaverse?
That's the...
Are we metagaming? Is that what's going on here?
We are metagaming.
That's the converse.
Where does the metaverse fit into the multiverse? Which one's on top?
Are we breaking the fourth wall?
It's the converse.
The converse.
We're going to the converse.
We're going to get it, losers. We're going
Mortal
to converse.
We're going to.
All right, so that's what's on tap for next week. So I hope you join us then. We'll be giving away another badge.
That sounds great. And then y'all made it complicated. Yep, that's what we do. Overcomplicate the symbols.
Yep.
Like it was.
Bates, that's the multiverse in a nutshell.
Right.
Sounds great that they overcomplicate it.
Right. We have no idea what we were talking about.
What
I just
color?
had talking points. But there's a lot in store.
I'm not allowed to read those.
Yeah, you didn't touch on one point.
I didn't. Listen, last time I read them, Listen, last time I read them, I used them for evil, and I was like, I can't do that. I can't use it for evil.
On purpose.
Yeah.
They're just talking points anyway. There's something to keep us grounded, which never seems to help.
Nope.
But in any case, I am Bronner.
And I am Ray.
And these are our peoples. We will see you next week at the same time, same bat time, and the same bat channel.
Not me. Just them.
Yeah.
Well, if you turn into any one of the Don Darrow streams, you'll probably see Nev again, or the Blue Skirt Boys Network.
Boy, you can follow them all right there. The BSO Network. Give them all a follow.
I have to follow them all. I haven't even done that yet. I'm going right now.
We'll do it right now.
I feel
I'm going to go do it right now.
I love all of y'all.
I'm
guys,
psyched to y'all. Gosh.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
All right. Peace and love.
Peace.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
3, 2,